Hello everyone, I am RexRed and I am back with another Ez3DTv tutorial in 4K for you today. We are working with a new program that I have created called EzFinder. And EzFinder helps you locate the content in your Daz library, organize it, curate it, export it back if you need to Daz Studio so that you have very nice, neatly packaged content that you can put your hands right on and be able to utilize without having to kind of go through all kinds of other things that may not be what you're looking for. So EzFinder does not edit your Daz library in any way. It does not and you're able to save layouts. It does not give you content that you have not purchased. So you do have to purchase the content in the Daz store in order for EzFinder to work. So EzFinder may be a gateway to you deciding, hey, I think I can handle more content because now I have a way to curate and get a hold of this content and work with it. So without too much introduction, we're going to go here to the other computer. Let me make sure that my chat is turned on. We had audio problems last time, and it doesn't seem like we are having that issue today. So it would seem we are back. We are back with an interesting new... Now, what I did since the last time I broadcast and showed off EzFinder was about 12 hours worth of programming to fix some very, very serious issues that the program had, and now they're fixed. And it has changed the way the program works. Let's open it up and I will show you how this works. And it's probably going to open up over here. Yes, it did. So this right here is EzFinder, okay? And it plugs into your Daz library. It finds items for you in your Daz library. Now, the first thing, what I should do is rescan for the content. I'm not going to do that because it takes a while. It takes about 5 minutes to scan, and I would just be sitting here. So this is the library browser, and in this browser, I have the scan already done. And so what I do is I just what the scan does is it goes through all of your entire library and finds the products you own, that you have purchased. It finds your products for you, okay? And so when I double click on this and this goes in, these are my products. These are the ones I have purchased. And as we go through this, and now you can see this is pretty smooth going through. There's 365 pages just in this first library chunk. Okay, this is chunk 30. Now if I go into chunk 29, there's 366 pages in this chunk of, and you can see these are some shaders here, okay? And so what the last edit that I did, okay, it says to select the stream. I'm not sure why I didn't select the stream, but I would assume, I'm hoping we are live. Yeah, it would be. Okay, let's see. Are we? Yeah, we are live. Welcome, people, again. So, yeah, this It says we have an excellent connection. Okay, so now this is probably the best part of EzFinder. And, okay, I have it opened up my news. I didn't want it to do that. So the best part of EzFinder is the easy organizer. Okay, and so once you have a library selected here, we can close that. We can take this easy organizer here. And now I'm going to show you the work that I did last night. I'm going to remove this library here. I can make it again, okay? So, and then I'm going to remove this. Hopefully these things work. Yeah, the add panel removed. And if you notice that it removed quite quickly, okay? So there is not as much, it doesn't, now that was last night's work, was to speed this up radically, okay? And that's what I did. So here we go. And it wasn't by loading it into the memory so you have this gigantic. In fact, it was just the opposite. It was to get everything out of the memory and all onto your disk. So I'm going to add a panel, and we'll call this shaders, since we're right in the hot spot of the shaders right here, okay? And so now what I do is I click these and drag. Oh, that's our shaders folder. This is a bin or a panel, I call them. These are panels, add panel, and we'll go new folder. So we're going to put a folder in the panel. We'll call this panels 1. Try that, okay? And now we have this panels 1 folder. Now when I drag things into this panels 1 folder, notice how quickly they went in there, okay? And notice the little icon, just instant. This is now instantly working, people, okay? So there we go. Let's bring this over this way. And so there is, now if I select and go down to here and drag these, we have 26 items. Notice how quickly it put them in. So this program is now ready for you all. And so it goes down to here. We put these in, 36 item, 57 items, boom. We go through here. Okay, so now we have panels. This, why I named that panels, I don't know. But what we're going to do is rename it. Shaders. Maybe because I've been working really hard lately. So now it changed it. Now, as you can see, we go back to page 1. We have a bunch of shaders now. We could add these, I guess, too. But so it enables, now we can right click, and this is doing something very daring here. But what I'm going to do is add another panel, and we'll call this miscellaneous SC, okay? And we're going to create some new folders in this panel called close, and we will create another folder. We'll create some new things in here, a new folder called shirts, okay, and we'll create another folder called pants, new folder pants, okay, and a new folder called shoes. So as you go through here and make new, oops, you say that's a little bit dark color. Let's make this color a little bit lighter, okay? Now I'm just scared something is not going to work, but so far it's working. Now we go new folder, let's shoes, shirts, pants, jackets, or coats, I guess, whatever you choose to call them, jackets. Let's go with new folder belts. Do you see belts? Now, do you see the potential for this. Now we go, let's right click in here, unselect that, right click in here, new folder, and let's go with environments. Environments. And it went exactly where we wanted it to go. And we go new folder in environments. Let's go props. Props, P-R-O-P-S, props. And we go in here again, new folder, full, S-C, full scenes, S-C-E-N-E-S, full scenes. Okay, see how this works? Now I might say, okay, I'd like to put this over here. Boom, there it is. In shaders, I'd like to have something here called iRay. So we'll put an iRay shader in here. And I would like to also have 3Delight. Okay, let's put a 3 there. 3Delight. So you get the idea. So this is, and so I might say, well, I want this to be over here in, so boom, there it is. Well, maybe we'll bring it back, okay? And let's move this over here. You can see now, let's move it. I don't think I can move them down. Okay, so move this one in here. So you can basically move these around and it seems to be working. Now, if I wanted to take this shirts one out, I hold alternate, right? And I just drop it in there. And now that shirts one is out of that. So I can move things out of a tree or I can say, put it back, okay? They're in the order they are. There's no way to change the order of things. It's just basically like this, okay? So what you do now, you fill this up, okay? So we've got environments. Let's go now. People, we'll create, okay, I think I put that. No, it's good. That worked. Okay, new folder, Gen 8. Okay, and we changed the stipulation. Now you can use names redundantly. So we'll show you how that works. New folder, Genesis 9, Gen 9. Okay. We'll go new folder, Gen 8.1.1. And new folder, Genesis 3. Okay, and I don't like those folders being the same color like that, so let's just go with something that stands out a little better, like this yellow here, and this Gen 9, Gen 8. This one doesn't quite stand out, so we'll change the color a little bit more here, okay, and this one doesn't show up as much, so we'll change the color about here. And we'll go there. Okay. So now you can see that now we go in Genesis 8 and we can go new folder, male. All right. Genesis 8, let's change the color of that a little bit to maybe this here. Okay, Genesis 8 male. New folder, female. All right. And then we can come down here and we can go into Genesis 9, new folder, male. So we can reuse these words. That was an issue with the last version of this. And I just came up with this idea. It's like, instead of using words for each to identify folders, why not just give them a numbering system like they're all part of some kind of social security thing, a democracy. So it was a democratization, one folder, one vote. So that is kind of how this came down. So Now the Genesis 8 female, F-E-M-A-F-E, female, and we can do that also. We can, that's with our Genesis 9, Genesis 8, 9, male, female. We can do the same thing here, and what's nice, you can just close these up and move them around. So, oh, yeah. See that? See, I cannot believe this works. I'm just used to things like, oops, it didn't work that time. But now it works because basically in this program, I went for this concept of truth, where you don't have things managing the truth for you. It goes right to the horse's mouth kind of thing. So, and that then sped everything up immensely. So there's nothing in these folders right now. So let's put shaders down here. Where did you go, shaders? Okay, well, shaders disappeared. Oh no. But let's see, we come back and where is shaders? Shaders, it didn't disappear. Maybe it went up there and I didn't see it, but I think it might have disappeared on us. But it comes back if you, maybe it did go up there and I just didn't see it. So I'm going to remove this. We'll just delete that. Oh, make sure, cancel. We'll make sure we have this. So just to show you, things work now. Okay, now that they just minimized. It scares me when things happen like that. It's like, oh no, what happened to my folders? But they're here. Okay, so that was just a proof of concept that the folder organizer, the Easy Organizer folder aspect is now fully functional and works. Okay? And we're nobody's up, I guess. Now we're going to show you how we have shaders here. Let's take these iRay shaders now, and we have 62 shaders. So what I can do is right click and I can go load into the main UI. Really? Okay, well that doesn't sound right. So I may have to close the program for them to show. Okay. Let's reopen and see what happens. Hopefully all of our files are there. It is still kind of new, so I had to do massive changes last night. So it remembers this, okay, right click, load. Okay, it's saying it's empty. So I'm not sure why it's doing that, but let's go back to the library here. It's saying it's got 62 items in there. So I'll have to fix that bug. All right, so here we go. So we go back to the full library and double click, and are there shaders here? Yeah, there's some shaders here. So we'll close this, and let's see what happens when we put these in here. And 3D Light, there's 23 in there. Let's do a few of these. I can't possibly test everything out in one night. So that's kind of what happened. This iRay, there's now 29. Let's see, go in through here. These are some shaders here. And keep going. And all right, these shaders. Okay, here's a few more. It's not saying what they are. Okay, let's right click, load to, all right, now these ones are loading, okay. So why these ones don't, I'm not sure. It's empty, so we have to figure that out. Now, we did have that issue with it. Now we open the organizer and we close this again, load to main. All right, so those are working. It's just this particular folder we got an issue with. So now we go here to close. See if we can find some close. here. Okay, we don't have a library loaded, so we go here to load a library, and we'll try this first one here. And then we'll do a search through that library and see if we find anything. And search. No, it doesn't look like there's any clothes in there, so let's try CLOTH search. That's cloth, but that will also come up with clothes. It's only 2 pages of cloth. We might as well put them in with our shaders. Okay, so this is basically an organizer. So that's what you want to do, is kind of organize and get your things set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some tentative folders here, and then I'm going to show you the real power of this program. Okay, so everything that's here is injectable into your cloth. Let's All right, let's move these in. And there's 2 pages of cloth, okay, that it's finding there. Now let's go to this one, everything 28. Eventually we're going to run into some clothes. Cloth, search. Now we're still getting cloth shaders. We can use them. All right, now here, 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 here. And I believe those are also shaders, but okay, what did I do here? This, that, we'll move them into there as well. Now, we have enough shaders here for now, even though it can handle thousands of them, okay? So we're going to, this is page 5, so let's go to now 28, see what this page looks like. That may be the one, okay. Now let's do a search now for cloth. Okay, that's the one we just did, so we go to 27 and search here. And we have these interesting things. This is an array, this is, I believe, cloth for, it might be for a ghost or something like that. So, it's a cloth preset. Now we have this clothing. This is a clothing converter. These are clothing items here, obviously. All right, D-Force. I'm not sure if these are actually wearable clothing items, but we have pages 1 of 3. It looks like we're getting closer to them, but these look like they're more script-oriented. So let's go to 26 and search here, cloth. And now these look like clothing items. They're D-Force, but I'm not sure. They really don't look like clothing items to me. They don't, and we do have this. Okay, so let's keep going to 25. Welcome, welcome, Matt. Welcome, friend. Welcome to the chat tonight. And we are back with EzFinder today with EzFinder actually. Now this, let's see how many pages of cloths we have here. Eventually we're going to find the hot spot where there's clothing, okay? 24, let's go to 24. See if there's clothing here. Okay, let's go. No, okay, let's go to 23. I should have picked something I kind of knew where they were. But as you can see, each library, and I had to break these up into small libraries like this. It was just a choice, a decision to break them up. And so we searched cloth. There's 87 pages here. Now it looks like now these are clothing items, okay? So we're getting into some clothing items. So let's now go here to, this looks like some kind of clothing items, flip-flops, boots. Okay, as we go through here, these things, these are things you may not have been able to put your hand on. That looks like some kind of ankle wrap, okay. Belts. Now we got belts, and you can break these. Okay, I messed that up. Okay, here we go. This. Hat. That's some kind of hat. Pants. Shirt. Shoes. Shoulder something. Arms. Okay, and then we go. These are belts, and we hold this, and we go to there. We go there. We go all the way to the end here, and we put those in clothes for now. And then we go to page 2. Now it says 87 pages of clothing. So here we go. These are clothing items. And now they've got our little red symbol here for that particular folder. Look at this. Could this not be any better? So we just keep going through these clothing. 87 pages that came up with cloth. And obviously, this is for clothing. And we've even got a few, we got earrings coming up here with clothing, 199. So we're just going and picking through all of our clothing items, and we're able to put them into this main folder here, clothes. All right, into the main clothes folder. Tunic, look at this. So we just keep going through our clothing items. Okay, these look like older clothing items, so we'll be getting into some of the newer ones. But notice how quickly now this actually works. It just tabulates. We're up to 400 items in that folder. More here. And I hope you are having a good night, Matt. A very, very good night, friend. And so I guess these are just still clothing items. All right. And we can go back and we can curate them later. These, I guess these are like really old clothing items. So it might be something you might want to, but what's nice is I don't remember ever seeing any of these. So this is, and there's 87 pages of items that now I can rescue out of obscurity, okay, and bring into the possibility of actually using some of these items, okay? Now we go through here, and so this is curation. This is basically the ability to curate. Notice how nicely this works. And we are going through here, and through here, just grabbing these items. Now, some of these may actually, these like MC6 and C6, I don't think these are even, they may be poser items, okay? So, but they're clothing items, which is kind of, which is nice, so that we can get them together and then we can select them and put them into, now this looks like it might be a DUF file, so we might be getting into actually DUF files. All right, so let's get rid of this. This was, I believe, 25 or 24, so we'll close that. And we can close this, and then we can go back a page. Okay, until we pick up where we left off here. Or 2. There we go, and we pick these up. Close. All right, and so there's that. And we can say, click this, but I don't think I want the tables, cloth, and these things here. Those are cloth items, okay? And these are actually DUF items. Some of them are DUF, some of them are these MC6. I think they may be poser stuff, but we'll put them all in here for now, or they could be shader items, add-on items for these. But what's nice is our clothing is becoming curated. An item that is very, very difficult to really find your items, and here they are. These are definitely Michael 4 stuff. So this is old clothing. So as we move through the library, we're going to find new clothing, and there's probably in here close to probably 10 or 20,000 items. Okay. But we put them all, they will all fit very nice. We're up to 1,809 right now. These are definitely Michael 4 items. And but as we go through further through this cloth search, it's going to find more items that are more contemporary. And so we get them all into one folder like this. Those are materials, okay? So these are, but that's the thing, is once you get all your clothing together, then you can break these into pants materials, okay? And shirts materials, things like that, okay? So you can break these into as much categories as you need to. So we go through here some more, and we just keep going through, and it seems to be working well so far. It hasn't crashed on us. It's not slowing down and getting ridiculously slow. It just keeps moving through, and that was difficult. To make this work. Daz has got YouTube ads running now. Yeah, my channel does. I have ads on this channel, and occasionally they will pop up. Okay, and I don't make much money from this channel, so it's maybe $5, $10 a month. So please, enjoy the ads, okay? They're for you. They're tailored just for your likes. Yeah, I do have ads, and they will occasionally pop up through the broadcast, okay? So I hope they're not too intrusive. Now look at this. See, this looks like a lot of things. And these are DUF files, so these will go right on. They probably will auto fit. They do. I still looks like we're kind of in a Michael 4 world, but we might have moved up to Genesis, like to the Genesis figure. So, but as you can see, we have some interesting items here. Clothes. So we're going to put all these into the clothes folder, and then. And what I'm hoping is to find some items to start finding items that look like they're Genesis 9 items, okay? Or Genesis 8. We're coming around the kind of the back end of this. But it's nice that it's actually curated like this, sort of in the order of when they were released. These do still look like maybe Victoria stuff. But these are some of these. See, this is the DUF that will go right on a figure. So I didn't filter these out. Okay, I could have filtered out files like these MC6 ones. I could have filtered them out, but that's the beauty of this particular library scan, is it gives you access to all of your items that you have purchased. Angus, good evening. Notice how smooth this is going tonight. We have some beautiful shiny, these sheets. These are this is cloth. We're going to keep that out. Those are sheets. We'll use those for another kind of thing, but I think we're going to end up with a lot of them. Okay, how far is this going to let us go? Okay, it's still letting us pick a few more things. Cloth. And, okay, it's still working. Okay, these yellow, this is some kind of textures for this. And 56. Okay, now what I need to do is reset this. 57, clear the UI, okay. Clear this. I think I've got to close this back down. And we'll open this back up. That is what's called a memory leak, and there's still a few items like that, few things happening like that. Occasionally that happens, and so I have to fix that. So, all right, we go back to our library browser. This was, I think, 25 or 24. Let's see which one it was. Cloth. All right, now, okay, so it was 24, I believe. 24. Cloth. And as we go through this, there's only 3. Okay, so it must be 23. Yeah, I remember this one, 23. And we have a bunch of things here. Okay, we open up our organizer. And it says there's 87 pages. Okay, as these start to go here, it shows we were here. Let's go to 58, page 58, and see what happens. Okay, we take this, like this, and like this. And this is right about, okay, page 58. Oh, page, let's see, that's the last page. So let's go 44. All right, this is about where we were. Okay, it lets us pick up. Now let's pick these up. Now let's close our library. Let's just do one of these. Now these MC6 and these Duffs, they still, I'm not sure. I have to do some research on what the MC6 file is. It may be a texture file, which would actually be very interesting because we could just do a search for MC6. I mean, materials. MC sounds more like for M for materials. So they may actually be material files for these, and that would be really excellent because it means then you can isolate these material files also. So let's go. We only have a few more pages to do. And then we have 3,800 items here. Now, these are not really the items I'm looking for. So let's jump ahead, okay? Let's, okay. And let's, what's nice about this, you are the curator. You're the one going through. And I'm kind of doing this as a demo rather than a, and I can tell just by these images that these are older items, that they're not the new items, okay? 57, there's our page. So let's go back to our library browser. I think this was 23. Let's go to 21. Let's see if we can find some of the new clothing items. Now that's cloth, that's just cloth chairs and all. So that's a whole section there in the library that's like aside from your regular clothing, okay? So it's not really representative of the clothing items. Okay, this is cloth, obviously. I think this was 21, 20, everything 20. So we're a third of the way down through our library search. Now that's 20. Let's go to 19. 19. And do search for cloth. And that is cloth right there. No, okay, so that's not it. So let's go to 18, I think. My brain is, I forgot which one I did. So cloth. No, okay, 17. And as we go, we will find the clothing section. Now it looks like we're in with some real clothing items. Did I click cloth? Okay, there's 1 of 58. Okay, so let's give another cloth. Okay, new folder, Gen 8 cloth. Okay, we'll go cloth. Eight through 9. Okay, let's try this now, and that is right there, clothing, Genesis 8 through 9 items. Okay, this was, I think, 17. We can figure that out later, but these are DSA files. Okay, so these are not our clothing files. They're scripts. Okay, so we're still not in our clothing, but we now have a, all right, these are still DSA files. These are all DSA files. So these, we'll go through some of them and see how far these, okay, this is a duff file. So this is actually clothing top.duff, all right? And so these are actually injectable onto our, this boot.duff, this belt, Celtic vest. These look like they may be Genesis figure. These are all injectable, okay? Anything like these that say duff, all right? So we could take some of these like this, and this is the armband. I'm not sure, we still might be, this is DSA. We still might be in the Genesis. Rabbit ears are cute. The duff, the sash, duff. Okay, these duff, rift guards, those are probably duff. Duff. Armbands. Okay, we'll throw a few of these duffs here. These are shoes. Okay. Now these look like they're textures. No, they're cloth, some kind of duff. So we'll put them in here for now. And then we'll just keep going through this until we can find some substantial stuff. These items have to be in here because the program has to have these. Now these DSA, these are all DSAs. Okay, so we're really not in the clothing section yet, okay? So there are some clothing items here. Now these duff, these boxers.duff, those will work, okay? And there's the belt. Okay, these look like they're usable stuff. Okay, not the DSA ones. I think they may be materials, but duff, this duff, look at these belts. All these duff belts will work. Okay, DSA. All right, we'll keep some of these. This is some kind of belt duff. And another thing, these are items you probably are going to look and say, I don't remember having those, but they're, now this duff, that's another item that's a duff. This is bracelet. Okay, so all of these duff files we can use and put into our clothing item and see how they work, all right? There's a choker and duff. Look at these, the collar here. There's some of these may still be Michael stuff, but I think these might be Genesis figure, just the first Genesis figure stuff. They kind of look more like they're a little bit more. All right, so let's keep going through because these may actually be not be our clothing items, but we're in the midst of a clothing bonanza here, all right? So this is one of our files. So if you remember, you can say, well, my clothing is in folder, in the library folder, 17 through, 12, or something like that. But as you can see now, we have these DSA files. This gives you, like I said, everything that's in your, and one of these, some of these have got to be duffs, but it does give you the name, okay? So that's the way you figure them out. Some of those, okay, those were shoes, okay. Let's keep going through here. Some of these, This is obviously, this is a duff. Some of these, let's try some of these here. We can play with some of these and see if they actually work. Now some of these are starting to look like Daz, like some of the later stuff. So it's a little bit more modern looking, okay? But let's keep going through. See what we find. Okay, now see some of this is really starting to look newer. Some of this necklace.dove. Did you know you had these necklaces? Well, that's the way you find them. All right, these still look like older stuff. So the new stuff is definitely in the library scan. So the Cape Black. So these are all these duff items are items you can put on your characters. It helps you find them. These look like textures. Blazing Garden, it doesn't say what they are, but I think that we'll just put them in anyway. These are duffs, okay? So let's try these, the vest, okay? So these are all pretty cool. Some of these, those are colored. Some of these duffs may be actually textures. In fact, a lot of these could be textures. So but eventually we will run into the actual items. These are starting to look like, now we're starting to look like, yeah, we're running into the Genesis 9 items. These look like colors for them all. Okay, this is items for that guy. I forget his name. Okay, there's a duff right there. Now these DSAs may change these boots in a way that you like it. So boots.duff, look at these items. So we just keep going through and grabbing them, putting them here. And we go through 20. And so we have more. Okay, these items will not fit on Genesis 9. I can tell you right now. We're in this Drutherson. I think his name is Druther something. And he is not a Genesis figure. Okay, but now we're back into, we got some pants, brown.duff. Tunics, okay? Let's add some of these things. So luckily we put them in the Genesis 9 folder, not mixed in with those other items. Okay, so patch shirt. Okay, so these are kind of interesting. So helmet, but they do look old, okay? These still look like old products. So, but these might be, they might auto fit, okay? So these are DSAs. We're looking for duffs, okay? So this looks like some kind of, now one might be for Genesis female, and the other one might be Genesis male. Okay, duffs. The idea is to isolate them out of your entire scan, okay? And get them into a folder, then to curate them and say, hey, what is this? How does this work? Do I want this in, what folder do I want this in? Okay, these are all DSA files. So these are duffs right here. So we'll take these all the way to there. Okay, there's some duff files. Hood, okay, pants. Look at these sash. These definitely are starting to look like they might actually fit our Genesis 9 figures. So with auto fit. Belt, look at these. So everything you pick up here is going to be a new item that you can curate, that you can put your hand right on, that you can manipulate and move around. I'm not complaining about the ads. I let them run. It's cool. It was a Daz Studio ad. I have never seen it before. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube, for showing Daz Studio ads. That's what I like. That's what it's about. That's what we're doing here. Okay, some of these are duffs, and so what you'd want to do is open them into the duff viewer, into the information thing, and shows you more information about them. Now these are some duff things too. All right, so we'll throw them in just for the heck. Now I'm looking at items here that I didn't even know I had. Now you can put them all in here. You can put them all in there and then just kind of curate them later, because you're slowly whittling them down. Now this one's called .daz. So these are still really old items, okay? So we're looking to get into the newer items. So let's go through here a little bit more. Now, yeah, see, these are Genesis. I think they might be, those are still Michael items. So we are still in the really old items area. Now some of these might actually overlap, okay? So, but all of these to me, see this kind of oldish grayish look, that they all have an older kind of look to them. They don't, like these ones look kind of like they might be new, but all right, these look like they're kind of new-ish. So, but this all still looks really old. Now these are Duff's. Okay. So as we progress through our library, okay, now these look like they're Genesis 9s. These look like clothing items. So we're going to throw them in. They could be textures, gray. See, it's gray jacket, Duff there, but they are Duffs. So, so you would look up LPMB and you'd find the jacket, and those are the textures for it. And you can then put those items together in their own panel. Now, another thing that we have, okay, I'm going to be showing you all this stuff. We're going to put all these things in here. These may be textures. Yeah, because when it shows it like the same item with, these are not the actual items. These are textures. But it's nice to say, okay, wow, these are the textures for all of my things. So, and it's up to you to curate them. Now that you have access to them, okay, these still look like old items that would not fit on Genesis 9, but let's take them anyway. All right, and as we go through, we will find, okay, we're just going to jump ahead a little bit. Let's go to page 39. Okay, we're at 40. There's only 10, so let's go to page 40. Let's go to page 43, 5. Okay, let's jump ahead. And these still look like, so I don't believe we're in the new clothing item area, okay? So this particular, now these ones definitely look like they are, but the shorts, okay, shorts.duff, and then these, okay, let's throw them in. They kind of look modern. Now we got a bunch of shoes, look at these, but they may be, these look like the actual shoe because each one has these ones are the same, but they have different colors. I don't know. So, but what you do is you isolate all of your clothing together. Oops, I just dragged that there. We want jackets back up here. All right, so you isolate all of your clothing. You put it all into one folder, and then you start working with it and curating it and putting it into, these still look like old items. So I believe we are still in the Michael, maybe even Michael and Victoria for the legacy. Okay, that's 58. Okay, so now we go open our library browser again. What was that? Let's go to like 13, I think, and search for cloth. Okay, now look at this. It looks like we're closer to this. Look at these hats. These items look newer. Okay, look at all these. Yeah, look at this. Now these actually say Genesis 8. So we're now into the Genesis 8 female, Genesis 8 male. Look at these hats. Okay, so let's put these hats in there. All right, and so we've only got 4 pages in this particular, but look at this. All right, let's take these and throw them in there. That's all these hats. It's like, I didn't know I had them. So there they are. And there's only 4 pages here. It says page 3. So this isn't, again, the hot spot. But let's go now to 11. Let's see if we can jump our way into this clothing thing. And now we are in the clothing stuff, okay? These are our Genesis 8 and 9 clothing. You can tell they're a little bit racier, and so we just go here, and these are textures, Okay, so we go to clothing Genesis 8, and we go through here, this classic set, and these might be textures, but hey, you do want your textures. You want to be able to put them all together, clothing. These are something here. Okay, let's go down through here. We just want all of this. Okay, we want our clothing in a folder that we can then curate later. All of this. Okay, look at this, some kind of pendant that goes with a clothing item. And as we go through, we got wraps here. These are loincloths. Okay, so we just keep going. And all right, this is page, we have 274, I believe. When we go, yeah, 274 pages of clothing, okay? And so this, you know, you might look at this and say, oh my gosh, it's too much content. But another part of you might say, wow, I can now see all of the items I have purchased. See, so there's, you know, the silver lining of it is here are your items, people. Here they are. And you have this setup where you can add panels, as many panels as you want, and fill them full of, add a panel. Let's call this clothing 2. All right, and now what has also been added here, okay, let's change the truth symbol to this. And let's go here and change the color to this light blue. All right, and it worked. I am surprised it worked. Now, what you can do, now you have all of your stuff, you have created them, and if you know anything about using customized folders in Daz, all it takes is one little push of the button and all of your folders are gone. Okay, you've lost all of your folders, all of the work that you have curated. But look at this, save configuration, and I can just call this my clothing. Okay, my Daz clothing. Okay, VDB, backup saved successfully. Now, do I want to get rid of this? Okay, let's see. I believe the only way to get rid of this is, okay, delete. Yeah, okay, so we're going to delete that. And, come on. I think it's deleting them one by one. And, but they're going away. Yeah, it is. So it's deleting them one by one, but I'm just trying to show you that now what I really need is a clear button up here, but somebody's going to click on it and have all of their stuff disappear that they've been working on for hours. So it would just have to, now environments, okay, we'll delete that. It worked. It deleted the folders, okay? It just did it one by one, okay? And the environments now is gone. It worked, okay? So that's the thing, is that it worked. Now we go into these close, okay? Let's delete these, okay? Delete. Yeah, go ahead. Now it's deleting these folders. Eventually it's going to get to this folder where we have 836 items in it. And it's just gonna, they're just gonna be gone. And one of these, it's gonna take a little longer to delete that one. All right. And okay, so I'm just kind of showing you how we clear this out. There, I don't have an easier way to clear it out yet, but okay, this is or you can just go in and delete the folders. Okay, you can reinitialize the program. Okay. So now, and that's just instantly, it takes only a moment to do that. And we delete this, yes. I believe that just deleted all of the folders all at once. And I used to have a pop-up and say, are you sure you really want to delete all of your folders? So, okay, so now we load, all right, we go back to my clothing. Yes. And does this work? I hope so. We might have to close it out and come back. Yeah. See that? See, so, and look, all of your items are here. They're saved in a folder. They're saved online, and you can bring all of your panels back. Okay, hey, Chris, I'm showing off a new program. So then you can just come back and so what this means is that you can create collections of your Daz items, and possibly even you could even sell them and say, it took me a year to curate and create all these folders with all of my Daz items curated into folders and panels, okay? And you can load one and say, this is the clothing panel, and you load it up, and everything would have to do with Genesis 8. You could have your Genesis figures here, or each panel could be like Genesis 9 shirts, and you can just load panels and load them as you need to use items, okay? This is incredibly powerful. So then, how have things been going with you, Chris? It's very nice to have you stop in. This right here is my new program. It's going to be out soon. I'm not sure. Daz doesn't seem too interested in anything I do, so they may not want to sell it. Okay, so it is probably going to just end up on some other on some website for sale as a program. But as we close this up here, we have, I am doing well too. I've been very busy lately, so it's just been a lot of work and no fun. So, but that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. So let's see if we can get down into our clothing a little deeper. So this everything scan, you have to run this scan. Okay, excuse me. You have to run this scan, and the scan, okay, now let's see if we got more clothing in here. There's a lot of clothing. Yeah, look at this. It looks as though we are still in an area with, but yeah, look at these. These are Genesis 9. I believe we're in the Genesis 9 stuff now. So what it does is it scans your entire Daz library, okay, of the items you have purchased. It doesn't give you new clothing items. It doesn't give you any new content. All it does is scan your items that you have purchased. It scans the entire library looking for injectable items, okay? And it creates these 30 files. How long does it, now my Daz library has 1.7 million files in it, okay? I know because I counted them. I have around 1.7 something million files in my Daz library. And this scan, to create this scan, the first time my program, in the program, when I created the scan, it took 24 hours to scan and find everything, all of the injectable, including scripts, including shaders, everything that you can use, including poser items and old CR, I can't remember, all of the different types of Daz injectable items, like those little, just little props and things, okay? everything. So each one of these files has like over 100,000 items in each one. And this entire scan of my Daz library, where I have 13,000 assets that I bought, and they all equal 1.7 million files. This scan took not 24 hours, not 12 hours, not 8 hours, not 6 hours, not 1 hour. It took 5 minutes. Okay, that's how, and this is what working on something for 6 months does. Okay, slowly you learn how to get things done in 5 minutes. Yes, that's what it does. It does. It shows you items, Matt, that you didn't know you purchased because of the way the Daz system works. The Daz system, to find things, I am not criticizing the way it works because that particular way is very helpful, but that same exact particular way is also very hindering also. It works really well, but then for things like you can't even view your data library. You can't even view your runtime library. You can't go in and search for, so I mean I can go into here and say search HDRI, okay? Now there's no HDRIs in, oh, well, what I have to do actually is clear this, okay, and do it again. Let's try one up here. Everything, okay, HDRI, and look what we have here. All right, this is just this one chunk, okay? Look at how many HDRIs are in here. And now, what's nice about this is I can open up Daz Studio, and any of these injectable items, I can just double-click on them and put them right into Daz Studio. You are not going to believe really what this does. You're not going to believe it because right now you're looking at absolute curation where you can just add more panels. You can save your panels, load panels in, and save them and just load them back in. You're never going to lose your panels. They're not saved in some proprietary Daz format. They're saved in a zip file, okay? In the zip format, okay? That's what these are saved at. We do have, when I go save config, it's a VF virtual folder bundle, okay? But these are, but it does save them as zip files, okay? They're zip formats, okay? So now, so you can just create different arrays of panels and load it and say, oh, this is all of my clothing curated, okay? And if something happens to your Daz library, you don't save these in your Daz library. You don't save anything you create in Daz, nothing. You do not put anything that you create in this program in your Daz library. Some things you do put as your, let's go in here. You can add as a base directory, okay? But you still don't put it in your Daz library. Okay, now I'm going to show you what this does. Now let's go here. We got these HDRIs, okay? So let's put one of them in the scene. Let's put this one. All I did was double click on that. Now that may be, one of these may actually be the products themselves, okay, instead of the HDRIs. I think they are. Looking at this, those are the product categories. They're not the actual HDRIs. These ones might actually be HDRIs. So they are not. Oh, what it could be is that this is set right now. Okay, we go into environments, parameters. Yeah, it's and withdraw the DOM. it didn't inject it because these aren't actually HDRIs. And now if I go ahead, these are, so it's, this particular is showing you the product itself, okay? They're not the HDRIs. So I can show you, there's another way to browse here in the program. And this is similar to the way Daz Studio works. But what we go, now these, like I said, are not HDRIs. They're the product pages, okay? So they don't even have duff or anything on them. So what we do is we load an array here, and we go to quick access tree. This is so similar. You have all these different ways of viewing your stuff through vendors and through preset types and through just alphabetical and things like that. So, but this right here, if we go into render settings and I just right click on that, inject that into the folder, okay? And now I type in HDRI. And look what we have. We have 4 pages here. Let me go into render presets and environments. Let's try this. Okay, there's only one there. Render settings, inject that one. There's 10 pages here, but we're bound to find at least one HDRI here. So, okay, here we go. This is an HDRI. Okay, so we open up Daz, and look what we have, people. Injection right from this outer program, which is nice because while this is open, okay, I can still select in my scene, okay? It's not something that sits on top and like blocks you from doing anything until you select something. It's completely independent of your program. So you can size this like this, put your Daz like this. We can close the scene, okay, and we can close this. And we can look at our Daz and say, and these are the actual products here. Some of these aren't HDRIs. Let's see what this is. Oh, these may actually, this is loading a scene maybe. Okay, I'm not sure what that just loaded. Let's do is undo, okay, but it's 22 pages of HDRIs in this particular cache. Okay, these are hazy. I don't remember even, oh, those are sun settings, okay. Okay, let's see what these are also, but look at these are pretty interesting. They do inject and change something about the scene. Okay, look at that, that's an HDRI there. And now as we go through, seeing, so what you do again is you curate these. You take them and you find all, these are HDRIs. Look at this. And these have the authors. These are not just images that's being loaded in. This is the author's interpretation of these HDRIs, okay? So it gives you their fully edited HDRI image, okay? So with the render settings image, okay? So this is better than my easy HDRI program, okay? Because it gives you really all of the render settings that come with it, all right? And so as you go, see, we can go right through these. This is Prometheus. This is pretty cool right here. So, yeah, or you could just put this on another monitor and just have, and be curating. Now look at this, people, Genesis 9. All of my Genesis 9 figures, okay, here in one folder, okay, and let's take and bring one into let's bring our Julius, our young adult Julius in. Just double click and you have your Julius here. And it brings him into the scene. I know it's jaw drop time. This is, and you haven't even seen the best part of this. There we go. We got some, we got Julius in here now. Silhouette of him, which is kind of good. Gives me a chance to put some clothes on him. So clothing here, I don't think the clothing here works too well, but let's see if we can find some clothing items here. Some pants. Those are shader clothing. Oh, we could use maybe this. All right. No, those are 3 delights, so those are obviously old. We put some spandex on him here, so let's see if we can find some clothing. So basically, this helps you find items. They're another way of looking at your library, and I give you every possible way that you can so far. And there's one more way that I'm going to be looking into, and that is possibly having the AI curate and find items for you. Okay, let's see what this is. No, I don't think that is clothing. No, I can just tell they're not. They're like clothing. So we'd have, let's go to, since we have 1,425 pages of clothing, let's jump ahead to page 2,000. All right. What did I do? Okay. Oh, well, that's more than 1,400. Let's go to 700. Let's try that. Okay. Now we're into kind of in the middle of our Genesis stuff. And okay, well, we got to find something that looks actually like a pair of pants and not like a texture. We're still in 3 delight stuff. So let's go 900. Okay, well all right, these are definitely clothing items. This is, again, I'm seeing stuff I didn't know I had. And that's what's really cool about this. And the Nike. So what you can do is you can put these on the figure and then go into Daz and use the smart content and find items that go with them. Let's see. Look at that. Now, I don't think I have my figure Z selected, so we go back into the scene. No, we don't. All right, so now let's close this back. And now when we put these on, we're going to have to guess what they are. Let's try again. These might be, oh, here we go. Auto fit. Let's go with Genesis 3 male and see if that works. Come on. And what have we got here? Okay, that didn't work, so we'll go Z. We'll undo it. We'll try Genesis 8. I don't remember what the, okay. Now you can right-click, and it says Open with Daz version, and you can have it open with, but the way it is set right now is the double-click or just inject to Daz. It will inject to the Daz that's open, okay? So, yeah, that was another fun thing to have to set up. So, but it's set up. Now we're going to just try this again. Let's make sure we got our figure selected again. We got Julius selected. And then we go here and let's try Genesis 8 instead. Genesis 8 male, accept. No, these may be Michael. They look really, really, really old. They just might be old, really old stuff. So, okay, so the Nico, let's go ahead and find some things that pants that we know are going to kind of work. This, the male outfit. Let's put him in this. And we'll try Genesis 8. We might still be in, Maybe they were Genesis 8, and that's what I just did wrong. Okay, these are working Genesis 8, I think. All right, so and look how quickly that's going on there. Genesis 8, Genesis 8, Genesis 8. These are all the different items. Okay, and then we got a hat probably. Okay, the only thing that didn't go on properly was the hat. Let's put a spotlight in the scene. Okay, let's bring the hat down. Okay. All right, let's put a spotlight in our scene. Create, that's a distant light. Wrong. Wrong. Okay, accept. And now we go here to our scene, select our spotlight. And we go to here. We select our Genesis 8 male. We view through the spotlight. Then select our male, click this, and that gets us into that. Why everything disappeared, I don't know, but that has nothing to do with my program. Okay, we pull this ahead a little bit like that. Pull that down a little more. And ahead a little bit more. Okie dokie. Okay, now we just select our spotlight again. And this is we're working here with Genesis Genesis 2024. And so go back to this perspective mode. Now let's take our figure here and let's just add a little bit more light to our spotlight. Here we'll go with 4. All right. Now I'm going to show you some other fun stuff. Now remember, this is an HDR, so you kind of have to get it set just right. So now I don't know why it's looking that way, but it just may be that this particular HDR is meant to be. So what we do now is we go back, all right, here. And what we do is I have a, my folder, okay, you also have a custom scan. So this might be interesting for you, Chris, because if you have a folder with all of the items, with items that you have created that are your own items, okay, you can go to this custom folder scan and then you can add a folder anywhere on your computer with all your duffs and all of those things, and it will scan that custom folder. You can give it a name and up here, and then you click OK and it scans it. Now I've already done this, okay, and it does it instantly. Okay, even if you have 1 million items in there, it will scan it instantly, okay? So now these are Genesis, now the problem I had, I'll show you this, is where we want to go to custom scan. We'll call this poses. I'll show you how quickly it goes through it. This is Genesis to Genesis 9 poses. So so we'll call this Gen, Gen to 9 poses. We'll just change it a little bit. Gen to Gen 9 pose, okay? And then I'm going to add a folder, and I'm going to show you this folder. Now, see, what I did was I used the product, the script, that the pose converter, okay? And so each pose, it went through, and so I converted all of the, what is wrong here? I hope my computer isn't about to crash. It could crash. Let me see. Come back? No, all right. What we're going to do is unplug that and plug it back in, see if that works. No, that didn't. We'll go over here. We'll come back. Just probably my mouse. I'm using this really weird Come back. All right, there it is. Switcher, okay, to switch. Okay, so what it did was it converted all of the poses, Genesis 3, Genesis 8, Genesis 8.1, into Genesis 9 poses, but it put them all in these folders. And so I have to go down through each folder, find the poses, put them in a folder, find the poses, put them in a folder, find the poses, put them in a folder, okay? And so what I can do is just select this folder, okay? Gen 9 pose, okay, and call it Gen 9 pose, go okay, then do a deep scan, and it scans recursively through all those folders. And okay, scan the file. Are you sure you want to scan? Yeah, I'm sure. And now we're going to see now our Gen 9 pose here. It will be done soon. And that's just scanned thousands of poses, okay? Now it says no library loaded, but we open this back up. And now we got Gen 9 pose. Now I right click on this, inject into the main UI. And look at this. See, all of those, it took all of those poses out of those files. There are 499 pages of poses, okay? And they are all Genesis 3, Genesis 8, and Genesis 8.1 poses, male and female, all converted to Genesis 9. This is the power of this program, okay? Now, another thing is if you find a shader here and you want to put it on an item. So I'm going to just show you a Genesis 9. This is all these now poses. I can go through pages and pages of them. Let's go to page, let's see, we got 363. Let's go to page 254. Enter. All right, look at these poses. All right, let's put this on Julius, okay? The count. Come on. Oh, I might have my, I may not have him selected. I think I've got my spotlight. Yeah. I just put a pose on a spotlight. So let's see. You can see him. Oh, that's leave limits on. We'll leave the limits on. There we go. So it's Doctor Who walking through so yeah, this is your this is how it works, people. So the anything here, any pose, you can, oh, we got to select him again. I must have selected him off. A zombie. This is the count. Yeah, so let's see now. I'm back in space. I love it. So yeah, this is the count again. Limits on. I always leave the limits on. A lot of people say, oh, turn them off. So, but I always leave them on. I don't want my figures bent out of proportion. So this is not a good pose for HDRI because it doesn't look like he's standing in the HDRI. So, all right, I'm going to show you another thing, okay? So we're going to go here. Oh, I didn't mean to open up Daz, the wrong Daz here, but let's close this down. We're going to delete Julius, okay? And we're going to close that Daz down. All right, I'm going to put a sphere in here. And we're going to find our shaders. And this is good, okay? We'll put a sphere in. Oh, that's a plane Z. Control Z. Let's try again. Let's put a sphere in here. All right, let's go here. I'm going to show you how, and then we're almost done here, but I've saved the best for last, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take and find an HDRI again. There's no HDRIs in my shader in my poses folder. Okay, so let's go back to here and go back to render settings. And I think it was render settings, inject folder content. Okay, this is, I think we can do it like this, render settings like this. This only gives us 22 pages, but, all right, this one will work, I think. Yeah, this gives us kind of like a, so let's find now shaders right here. Let's bring these, inject. Now this one gives you 111 pages. I have a lot more shaders than that, but these are shaders now, okay? So what we're gonna do is go through here, and we take this sphere and make sure the sphere is selected. We go to surfaces, okay, here, that's all you have to do. And let's now shut this up and here for now, and we'll close this, and we'll go back here. There's our sphere. We'll bring it up like this and up like that. And let's go back to render settings for a moment and select general and go to this and go with square, okay? And now when we close this off, we've got a nice square image. Go to edit, object, geometry, and smoothen that little sphere out so it's nice and pretty. So now, can we inject? I guess we can. Now the thing is if you find that one has a seam, okay, so we turn this and then we lose the seam. But as we go, these look like they're kind of HDRI. Oh, we have HDRI selected here. Let's go back here now and inject again. And I don't think that actually did an HDRI search, but so this is a way to go through and get every single HDRI okay, we're in render settings, we need to be in shaders, okay. That's the problem. I didn't know you could inject an HDRI onto a shader. I don't think an HDRI can be used as a shader, so no, I'm quite sure it can't now, but let's see what this does. But look at that. Now, okay, the surface panel, try again. It did actually work. Now, the thing is that now I'm not sure completely if this works, but as we go through, let's see if we can find some 3Delight. Okay. Yeah, see where these say 3Delight? And when I click on that, okay, that didn't work. All right, this one, hair. No, we only have one, okay, this one, the Santa hair. No, this part may not be working, but let's see. It could be working, but this shader, like, is on top of it, okay? So, three. Let's see if that works. No, that didn't come up with anything. Okay, now I think, okay, here it says 3Delight shaders inject. Okay, so we might find more luck by doing that. Shader presets. Okay, here we go. These are 3Delight shaders. Now, when I double click on this, it should inject this on top of that. Come on. All right, some of them, this may have gotten broken in the last few repairs of the program. So, but we got 10 pages of these. Let's see if we can find one. I think it's this particular, see, because it's just barely, I think it's this particular. So we'll go back to our iRay shaders and just pick a different one. Presets, insert. Okay. What we got to do is iRay shaders. Just inject this and we'll find the uber base ones probably. let's type in Uber, the reset ones. Come on. Let's go here, inject the whole thing. Uber. Okay, there's only a few things. These are very difficult to kind of do. So, okay, what we'll do is we'll go to our library and we'll go here. I know there's a bunch of shaders in here, I'm quite sure. You start to learn where all your shaders are. Okay, so this, now see, this might be a perfect example of it. This is an array. Okay, now let's see. We have to see, nothing is changing this. I might have lost my select here. So to go to the scene. Yeah, we lost our select. That was it. All right, so now we close these back. And this. I might have clicked in the scene. Okay, these, some of these, this is just a it's a shader that doesn't like to get erased, and that's what happens with a lot of these shaders. We'll find one of the, there, that reset it, okay? Now we can go back to page 1 here, and we can try this 3Delight shader, okay? Okay, that's an array one. Now those ones just may not work. Okay, let's try this one. Failed, may not be a 3Delight shader or may not be convertible. Okay, so some of these 3Delight shaders that aren't actually shaders, it says 3Delight, but as we go through, we have 595 pages of shaders. That's a finish, okay? Let's see if I find some actual, okay, this is bumps, okay? So it shows us everything, okay? So here for, but what I'm trying to show you is that if you find a 3Delight shader, okay, it will convert that shader to array as it injects it into the program, okay? So whatever 3Delight shaders you have, I have it hardwired because 3Delight is being deprecated. Look at this blue one here. Okay, now that, it's 3Delight, but it's just a sheen and it's not really showing up here. Let's see, we'll get into the middle of some 3Delight shaders. There was one there. And now these all work. You see these work fine. All these array ones. And the 3Delight ones do as well. We just have to find ones that are actual 3Delight shaders. Look at these. See, this is really cool. And these are the artist's 3Delight shaders. Okay, that's a sheen, some kind of sheen that goes on it, and it may have something laying over it that you can't see it. So glass. So that just made it into a glass array. Look at these. See, so this is beautiful. Look at that. See? So this is just copper, another kind of copper. Look at the cubic zirconia. Look at that. Wow. So yeah, when you encounter, I'm gonna find a 3Delight shader here, and I will show you that it's going to say 3Delight in here, okay? This one may not work, okay? We're not in the heart of the 3Delight shaders. We're just kind of in the area where it's finding them, but they're not true 3Delight shaders. And so we have to kind of go through. Let's go to page 300. Okay. See what's here. Maybe we can find some actual. Now you put this on another monitor and we are golden. So yeah, you have Daz full screen on one and your EzFinder on another monitor. I'm thinking about 60 bucks for this, okay? And it all depends. If I sell it in the Daz store, it might be more, because what'll happen is Daz will eventually end up have it for sale for like $10. So at first it might be more than that. You know, and it all depends on if Daz decides they like it. It might be something to incorporate into Daz Studio, because it does help people find their content. Now I'm only finding iRay here. So that's the thing, is once you find your 3 delight textures, you want to put them all into a folder and say, okay, and then you won't have to search. Then you'll have them all in your organizer here. Where is our organizer? Is it sitting behind here? Where is the organizer? Come on. Oh, there's our organizer. All right, so you want to put them in your organizer here. So you want to create like a shaders. We have this, you know, just select them and start putting them into your shaders. These are iRay here, so we just keep going into our iRay shaders and putting them in. These are just tint ones, okay? So they're just giving you a slightly different tint. It's like, okay, give me 5 million shades of pink, and when I could just kind of go in and change the shade. But all right, that's what it does. So we go to 360. All right, and we now have 50 million shades of another shader. 390. And again. So, okay, let's go to 450. They are still here. Okay, 500. Here we go, we're past them. Okay, that's another reason why you curate your stuff. So you're not looking through a million things like that. Okay? So, and these tiling options and all of this stuff, you can just isolate and say, here are my shaders, and they're all from this raw scan of your folder. These are overlays. They're very cool. So you can create a folder named overlay and just put all your patterns and overlays and all of those things into its own folder. So we open Daz here, and let's see what some of these look like. That added like a sheen to it. It's not a full shader. It's just a layer for it. Okay. Let's try one of these patterns. Look what that did. Metallic. Whoa. So that did something to it. Okay, let's keep going here. We'll find some actual shaders again. All right, what are these? Let's try these. Okay, those are not full shaders. They're just like again, you can find out which shaders are actually shaders. These look like, look at these. These are actual shaders. They're monochrome shaders. Look at those. See, now these are really cool. You can add color to them, but look at that. See, this is a group of stuff that you'd want to put into your, these are all usable shaders. So you go back here, you grab these, okay, iRay shaders. Then you don't have to look again. All right, then you got all of your shaders right there, right here, okay? Boom. All right, so we come through. These, we want these. So you test them out when you find a group of them here. You test them out and you decide if they are going to be shaders that will actually, yeah, see, these are shaders. So we grab these, come back to here, throw them in here, go to the next page. And once you only have to curate these once, because like I said, you save them. And now I'm going to show you the final part of this program. Look at these. Look at how cool they are. And they inject right from here, right into Daz. So now I'm going to show you the coolest part of Easy Organizer, okay? Is you can take this folder, this shader folder, okay, this clothing folder, let's take that and export to Smart Content, all right? This is full circle, people. And so we're going to go here to this and the Easy Disk Content. We're going to call this new folder, close, all right? And we select the folder, successfully exported. 3,964 items like that, okay? And so now let's go into Daz, okay? And let's go to our content library, and I happen to have this here. Now I believe I have to close Daz in order for it to show a new folder, and I don't see a closed folder here. So I believe if I hit reset, refresh, I don't think it's going to show up. That did show up. Okay, so we have this closed folder, and that may not have worked. Let's see. I know it worked, but I just have, we may have to actually close Daz for it to redo the metadata, okay? So, but let's double check here. My Daz 3 EzFinder Disk Content, close. Okay, something's wrong, something didn't work. And I'm not sure why. It just didn't build the library. So now this one has, let's try a different one, okay. Export to Smart Content. I might have clicked the wrong one there. So let's go to this, okay, and we're going to go call this close to. Okay, select that. Select the folder. Now that's taking a little longer, okay? So now we go here. And we do this. We refresh. Refresh. And that's close too. Here, here. Look at this. See, so now you have all of these clothing items curated, all right, through your Daz. And you got pages of them. You got 700 pages of curated items. 700 items. I didn't do the whole thing. I only just did a certain amount. But these items now you can put into your Daz olive pants. Let's see, are these actual pants or what? Let's get rid of our sphere here. Now these are probably not, like I said, they're not actual clothing items. This choker. So these are textures for clothing. So now close one, okay. This, I don't know why that didn't, oh, it just, so I might have selected the wrong thing. So we just go into here. Let's try fix. Oh, I have a problem with this folder, okay. I think it was this folder. that wouldn't inject. There's an issue with this folder. So we go back to our EzFinder and see this won't inject. Load to main. Oh, it is injecting. Oh, it says it's empty. Okay, so something's wrong here. I'll figure that out tonight. So we can take these shaders, okay, and we can save these. Okay, so export to smart content. And we go to now back to here, here. And we'll get rid of this close one, delete this. And we go here, new. And we go, once you export these into this folder, you have them forever, okay? You know, so it's that kind of thing, like once you have, and we're not putting these into the Daz content library. We're just putting them in a base directory. So this one was what? I forgot. Shaders. All right. And so we select that. Go here. Yeah, those are those iRay shaders. Okay, so we go here. And now we right-click to refresh. And we should have a shaders folder here. Let's close this back down and bring it back up. Refresh again. Shaders, here they are. Look at that. See? And now you can take these and curate them. Right-click, and you can curate them and put them into smart content. And these should have all their linking data and everything in them as well. And this entire folder here, okay, where I have thousands of items here that I have created, okay? You go here to this, all right? This is all of my, I've got all of my Genesis 9 figures are in here. And this entire thing, properties, is, okay, what happened? Properties. Properties. Oh, I'm inside some, okay, maybe I'm inside some kind of dialogue? No. Okay, here. This is all my disk content. Properties. Okay, well, it's telling me that all of this isn't even a gig. It's not, and this has got all of, I believe, all of my HDRIs that look how many HDRIs in here. All of them that I could find, all right, are in here. All of my Daz people, okay, Genesis 8, Genesis 8.1, Genesis 9, okay. In here, I've got all of my favorite utilities in here. And this entire folder, and let's see, got these clothes, 700 items of clothes. All of my VDBs, every single VDB I own, okay? And so I can just, and those are not even taking up a gig, okay? So this program was made right, okay? So now you go into Daz, and you go to this VDB. Look at this. There are 2,790 VDBs, and I can just put them into the scene like this. Look at that. Now we have Cloud Clever, okay? So delete that. This is so cool. We got different cloud cover, like a big cloud. Happy clouds. Cloud trails. We got these clouds. We're in a cloud. Okay, let's see this. So I don't want to do that. Let's go. So you get the idea. We got red clouds. Okay, Z. We got these plumes. Look at that. Look at this. So yeah, this is it. This is it, people. Z, undo that. Let's put some. Okay, this one, it requires the object, I believe, to be put in first, which is the container here, I think. And we got this. Look at that fire. Zoom out a little bit. So, as you can see, there's out of this whole evening, there's just been one issue with this clothing folder appearing empty. So I'll fix that tonight. But basically, your export, your save, your load back in, creating folders, moving them around, viewing your library, doing custom scans, okay, and using your organizer here. You also have a nice little log that tells you when things are loading, when things are scanning. And now these scans that this does, this is your all library full scan. And when you click deep scan, you can append. So if you buy new products, you can scan those 30 files and it will just only find the new ones. But you know, I was like, so it saves you some time, like a half a minute, because basically this entire scan, my library is 1.7 million files. Basically, this scan takes 5 minutes to scan 1.7 million files. So, and create your library. So these are your custom scans, and these are your, now you say, well, why would I want a custom scan? Well, if you take like a clothing, you take Riversoft's clothing creator, and you, the converter, and you create a folder with that program, and you convert all those clothing items, you can take that folder and you can scan it, okay, a custom scan, and bring all of those items into here, curate them, organize them, and then export them back to Daz. And you don't export them into the Daz library, and what you're exporting isn't the actual clothing item, it's just pointers to the clothing, okay? So you're not actually editing Riversoft's clothing, you're editing a scan of them. So this is why that if anything goes wrong here, okay, anything whatsoever, it will never harm your Daz library, ever, ever, ever. Because it does not put anything into your Daz library, and it does not change anything in your Daz. Nothing gets changed. Everything is just basically pointers to your Daz items. And it's a curator to help you to curate your items, to view them, to organize them, save them as different virtual folders. Okay, so that is this in a nutshell. And like I said, it'd be anywhere from, now it's probably going to start out at $60. Over the holiday, it might go down to $35, okay? I don't think it's going to go down much more than $35 or $40. It might start out at $60. I might even start it out at $100. I don't know. It's taken me 6 months to make it, and I haven't been able to work like day and night. I haven't been able to work. I have 2 other jobs, and I haven't been able to work them because I've been doing this. And so now you have these load arrays. You can load by the alphabetical tree. No, you are very right, Matt. These are not opened within Daz, and that's what makes them really, really nice, because like when you open a program from within Daz, like let's find a script, okay, and open it. Let's go to Utilities, and let's go to, let's just close that browser right there. Let's find a script and open it, okay? Now, Utilities, let's go to Products. I kind of can read this a little better that way. We have to turn this off. Okay. And we go in here to, we'll open a script. The Brow Remover Brightness Manager. Okay, let's open this. Oh, something in the scene. Let's select, I don't think you can change the brightness of a VDB. So let's find something else. Most of these are going to expect you to select something in the scene. So we might be able to get by with something here, like the Scene Optimizer or something. Environment Set Splitter, that's not going to work unless we select the set. Okay, let's put a Genesis 9 figure in here, or any kind of figure. It's like, I want to, go to Smart Content. Why do that? Why not just go down here and open this, go to my figures here, people, and I didn't put any in here. Genesis 9, well, let's go now to here. This is how easy it is. Okay, so we go just setting it up for the first time, okay? Oh, I have my, okay, well, we'll do it this way. This way, what are we doing? We're going to go here to this, load this array, quick access, and let's go to people, Genesis 9. Okay, and this will, okay, we select all, Control A, drag them right into the Genesis 9. Okay, so we have them here, but let's just pick one. Let's pick Kyle. And I haven't curated my clothing yet, so I'm going to have to find clothing for him through the Smart Content. We're looking actually through Smart Content at this, so we could, now we got Kyle here. Let's get rid of this fire. It's kind of creepy. Let's see. Okay, let's put Kyle like that until we get some pants for him. Let's go first down to wardrobe, which is right here. Find some pants for him. Okay, these will work. Suspenders maybe, bluegrass clothes. Let's select Kyle. Okay, fit anyway. All right, that didn't work. Z. Let's try this. These are for Genesis 8 male. Let's find something for Genesis 9. Okay, Genesis 3. Okay, let's put one of these on. Wardrobe. Let's see, materials, shaders. Okay, these might be actually. I'm not doing. Okay, this is wardrobe. Okay, the bodysuit. Let's put the bodysuit on. There we go. We got a superhero here. And so now that we have a figure selected, we can go back to Utilities. Okay, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, is that we go to Utilities and we go to something that, oh, the Brightness Manager will work now. Okay, one of these will. This is for Genesis 9. Okay, default. Okay, this may not work. Okay, let's see. Okay, dial fusion. Here we go. Okay, not sure why that didn't work either. This is for Genesis 9. We got Kyle selected. Oh, scripts don't work in Daz 2025. That's why. All right, so we just close this down. Bring this over here. Let's bring in, now that we have this open, we'll bring Kyle in. And as you can see, he'll load, whatever is open, he will load into that if you just double click on the products, okay? So let's do it here. Oh, see, I have the Genesis 9 figures here also. These were already done. And I may even have some clothes. Okay, those were the other clothes. So where are you? Okay, he's still loading, I believe. Okay. Why didn't you load? All right, injected as one. Okay, this looks a little different, okay? So whatever I did, it wasn't right. I don't know. The double click didn't work, but the right click and inject does. So, all right. This is going to load him into a place that actually scripts work still. So what now? You can see that I can click on that and still click as soon as he loads in here. Still click the user interface here isn't locked, okay? So I can go to render, which it's going to add our iRay, but it won't render. So we'll have to go back to texture settings because I have a 5090 in here. So I can still, with this open here, I can still work in Daz. Okay, but when I open a script, now we go down into our, and I have all of my scripts here, utilities. Look at this. See, this is our curation from, and that's page 1. Okay, of 50. These are pretty much all of the scripts that I use. So this brightness manager, when I open this up, okay, it's like see, I can't click on any of these. I'm locked. And so it doesn't, this is my, this is the 3D Light. Not all Daz scripts are like that, but most of them are, okay? And so this plus Genesis 9, okay? All right, so we have this open. See, I can't click on things, all right? And so why would I want to build something like that? You know, why would I want to build something that when it opens up, nothing clicks but this, okay? Now, when I have this, okay, open, see, I can click in here and click in here, and I can click in here. You see? It's completely, so this is better. So, you know, that's the thing. It is better to a degree from one perspective. And it's from this exact perspective that, that this is particularly better, okay? So it's from this perspective. So we put this here, and the other one goes there. And we can, well, okay, it's not working quite right. So this here. All right, so yeah, it's from this perspective that we have this ability, okay, is that that we want to be curating and trying things and curating and trying and clicking on things in the scene adding things into the scene without everything being locked. So this is another aspect of this, okay? So you can save your configurations, you can scan your entire library, you can find everything. Everything is in these scans, okay, that are here. One way or another, you will find, like, just this one particular scan here. Let's close this down for now. Okay. I can't render with my 5090 and the 40. So let's bring this over here and over here. So how I'm kind of used to working with this is these load arrays. You have this asset type tree, okay? And these are different ways of looking through, like your preset pose. And so inject contents. These are different ways of looking into the DUF files to find products. This didn't really work, and so we got to go down a little deeper, okay? So this brought in, and it's 1,985 files, and it's not just poses for figures, but eye poses and things like that, and expressions, everything. So, and hair poses, like morph kind of poses where you just put something on, it changes the style, okay? So it's everything. It's just every single thing in your Daz library. It's a way to find everything and organize it. So it's kind of like black, okay, where it's just so much stuff, it's black, and this is where it becomes organized, okay? This is where you slowly come through. And so if I take these pieces and I put them into clothing here, all right, it tells me they're in the clothing with that little dragon, okay? They're in that. That was an important part. It was a constraint that I had to have these truth symbols, okay? And they're colored. And at first they were just colored dots. And then it occurred to me that people that were colorblind wouldn't be able to distinguish one colored dot from another colored dot. And that's why these now have little icons on them, okay? So that, now did that work? All right, we got another problem. We only have one of these showing up per, so they didn't show up. Now these, if I put like these here, see those show up. So they might be underneath, so I have to figure that out now as well. So because they're supposed to show up beside them, but it's probably underneath. It's in the wrong position, so it's completely hiding it. And so this is how this works. So I put this into belts, and so it gives you, and you can choose, you can choose, that looks like a crystal ball. So you got, these are called truth symbols. You can choose the symbols, you have these, but you can come in through here. All right, my truth symbols aren't working either now, I don't think. So there's a few things that I had to change so much last night to get this to work. So they're just not loading. So we have these for now. It is using them, okay, because that dragon, I don't know, I don't see a dragon here. Okay, the arm is the arm. So no, it looks like it's okay. This one. Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what's happened here. The emojis, I think it's just the emojis, and I think there's supposed to be more than this here for emojis, but yeah, they're not showing up right now, so that's another broken. It got broken last night, but what got fixed last night was when I put these things into here, they go in immediately now. It's just immediately. I can just put these things into here and immediately it's done. And that's what's really nice. And it just, the icons show right up. So it's just a few things, and this is kind of what I'm doing here is testing. Okay, so these are all Genesis 8 male, Genesis 9 male, boom. So they have that, whatever that is. It looks like a hand pointing up with a thumb. So this is how it works. And so you curate these and you save your configs, save them as different configs. Save your panels. You can load your panels. It's got a little bit, some rough stuff around the edges, but that's what this updates is for, so that when I have updates, I can update the program and make it new. So this Genesis 8 male, okay, so there we go. So this is how it works. I don't know what, though. This is hair. Okay, so you create a new folder called hair. Wait, cancel. Unselect that. Now create a new folder called hair. And boom, just imagine what you can do with this now. All right, so then we go hair. Boom. See that? Look at that. So that's amazing. This is the way it works, people. This is it. More hair stuff. Hair. Look at this. So you just put your hair stuff, and then you go through it, and you say, I have a folder with everything hair. And then you can just basically come in here and say, okay, this is my clothing. All right. Load that in. And hopefully this works. Yes. This is the clothing folder that we made earlier. And we have a memory leak again. So there's just a few issues here that I have to iron out. So we can clear the UI. If we close this down. I'll be fixing all of that stuff, but it's just, and it remembers where your windows were, okay, when we reopen them. See, we open the organizer. It remembers where they were. So we can close, except these little bars. You have to kind of get them out of the way. Now we go into inject the clothing. Now look at this. This was that folder that we made earlier. See, and we can now just go through this. And we can say, okay, I'd like to put these in this Genesis 3 folder. Now I put them in, it just didn't put the icon there yet. So this is how this works. So it is so close. The important parts are really done. The export to Daz, being able to take a folder like this and just export it to Smart Content, and then view it and use it in Daz. That part's done. That's a big one. Okay, scanning custom libraries is very big. Scanning your Daz libraries. This is the full scan. That works flawless. These are link scans and build arrays, and those are these here. These are very special scans because they look at, they use links, okay? So the vendor tree, this one shows you vendor products, products by vendor. And yeah, look at these vendors. So yeah, this is how this works. And then you can come into, see if these even show some things. Okay, those, let's see. I don't think I can select more than one, no. So these are, there is just a ton of stuff here. Tinker's Workshop, the camera. So we can just double click on that and load the Tinker's Workshop. The cave, core. These are some pretty interesting. This is a way to find stuff and say, oh, that goes in this folder. I may make these smaller, the font smaller, so that you can fit more in a panel. I made them bigger because I just wanted to kind of read them, but I just, then suite apartment. Okay, so you look and say, oh, these are props. It's one page. Oh, page 1 of 5. Look at all these props you can throw into your props folder. Right here, like this. And once they're in your props folder, okay, like this, all these are lights you can put into your lights folder, okay? You can, new folder, lights. Okay, boom. Put them in your lights folder. And then these are also lights. See, this is a light and this is lights. That is, let's see, this is a light. Boom. So you just, this is the way you do it. And then these are just props. This, that looks like a light, but I'm not sure. This, that, and these would go in props. All right. So this is pretty cool how this works. And like I said, you get these made up and you get these panels made up and you save the whole thing. You can have as many panels as you want. Clothing, household. Well, let's do something more. Okay, let's go environments. Environments, okay. And we'll add another panel called clothing, hair. All right, and another panel called figures. Figures. You get the idea, and you can make these panels kind of smaller, all right, like that. And you can just put a row of, they don't have to be nested. They can just be a row of folders. Yep. So this one, environments. So yeah, shaders, right click, change the color of that. It's a little bit too dark. I mean, a little too light. We want to see the colors. See that? It minimized the, see, so a lot of stuff is actually working rather than, you know, a few little things that don't work. This is like really cool that you can just do this and then save the configuration and or export a huge folder like with this many items in it, export them. You can also export them to the library catalog. This won't work as well because for some reason, I'll figure this out. This folder is showing 0, like that there's nothing in it. And I'll figure out why, because it's telling us there's 3,964 items. So something got kind of clobbered. So, all right. This is going to do it. So once this product comes out, you will be able to purchase it, and you will be able to go through and look at all these various different ways of finding. Now look, this is just alphabetical, okay? Like what's in Daz. All right, load array, come on. Look at this. Now everything, this is 0, everything was 0. What's in here? Inject folder. 0, 17. I might have to actually go with like people. There's 188,000 things in there. 4,000. So it's doing the whole, it's these environments. So it's another way of looking at your items. Environments, okay, there's, look at this. So you can find stuff, there's your ultra scenery stuff. More props, and so you just say, wow, okay, there's a whole bunch of props here. I can put them into the props folder. Okay, and then I can load the props and say load these props into the main UI, and then all you have is the props in here. And that's what's nice, is that this, when you're looking at it through this, you're looking at a folder with thousands of items in it that are not part of the props. But once you put them into this folder and you export it as a props folder, it takes them out of all of that complexity and puts them into a very simple, quick loading kind of thing. So yeah, this, and so we say, okay, I want to add this. Now if I don't have Daz open, I just double click on this and it opens Daz right up. It just usually it works, it opens Daz 4 point, and there is our dresser, okay? Nightstand. That's what that is. So, yep, very cool. So we could just click on this. We can go around this. I can't render it because it's it opened in Premiere, but we can close this. Yes. No. Now I can right click and say open with Daz version and open with Daz Studio 6. And look at that. This is Daz. Now I can render this in here, okay? Look at that. It's already in yep. Now it looks just like it's a white dresser. I don't know why it's like that. It's why it doesn't have a wood color, but that's the way it is. I guess it's just a white nightstand. So, and if you look at it here, that's what it is. Okay, so how about this one? Let's right click. Oh no, we don't have to do this. Now we can just double click and it should open in our open Daz. Yep, now we have an ottoman. We'll pull this out. Well, look at that. So yeah, it works. Everything except a couple of little things that I gotta work on work. So this is, and that last night was pretty much, it was the most productive night that I have had since I've been working on this. It was the most incredible evening of work. Sweet apartment. Let's add a couch. Couched in a heavenly shade of gray. Okay, let's pull the ottoman out. Let's put the couch back here. We'll put the nightstand over here. And the ottoman. There we go. So yeah, this is our program, people. This is what's going to help you find your items. Now these pillows, I'll bet you they're already here. We go through there, we should see some pillows in here. There's only a couple of pages of environment stuff here. Oh, because we loaded all that back in. We go back to our environments, inject this back in. 77. Now look, can you imagine? It says this is about ready, says caution. This is about ready to inject 77,000 items into the main UI. And it's like, yep. And it's like, there they are. Now we're going through 1,945 pages. Okay, this is called lazy loading, where it only has to load the page. But look at these items, see? Now these are props. Okay, so we want to add these to the props. Where are the props? I don't see them. Shaders, what did I do? Did I move? Okay, they're here. I'm just not seeing them. Props, it's the one highlighted. Hello. Okay, these look like props too. I don't know what they are, but they look like props. And these trees are props, but I don't know that you can actually use them. I think you have to use them through. So look at okay, these are already selected. Look at these. You got a throw rug. We got a throw rug now for our props. So let's bring this little rug into our studio. Okay, that might be just the textures for the rug. Carpet. Oh, there we go. Well, that works. Okay, we got to select the carpet. Bring it out a little bit like this. Yeah. Okay, so we're building a scene with things. I've never seen this couch before. I didn't know I had it. Okay, but that's what. That's why this is called EzFinder. Okay. Is so that you can find things. Yeah, you can kick back and watch the TV. So we need a light, a lamp. Okay, remember we had lights and lamps. So we go back a little bit here. Let's put a lamp on the table. Oh, we got curtains. Cabinet, a chair we can put beside the couch. We go back. Remember we had lights here, I think. We had lights. I thought we did. Well, we got lights right here. Main to UI. Here's our lights. Let's see if this works. Let's go here. Where's the light? Did it put a light in? No, that might just turn the light on. No, these may not work like they look like they do. All right, they may not actually be, they may be scripts that work with lights. It might require a script to run them. See if one of them works. We need a light. Okay, so, oh look, we do have lamps now, okay? Some of them work. So which lamp do we want? That doesn't really look like a lamp, so we'll use this lamp. Put that on the table. Okay, and put this in here. Well, that's nice. And now I think if we go like this, and we select this lamp and go like this, that should turn the lamp on. Maybe not. Let's see. That might be the might not be the iRay one. Okay, but we know how to turn on lamps anyway. So we go to Surfaces, Lamp, Glass, Light. We go to an emission color. Okay, so this is already on. So if we take our environment and go to backdrop black, we should have a light. Okay, now we also have to turn off our scene HDRI, render settings, parameters. Okay, now we go to our lamp. Go to parameters. Okay, so this. and light, luminance, okay, what's happening here? Okay. All right, we'll go back to our table lamp and our light. And we go back to this. Why is this so weak? Okay, well, it's like extremely weak. So maybe it's this. Or it could be no emission profile, luminance, watts. Look at that. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but what could be doing this, but because 8,000 is almost the same as the amount. So what we do is we just put a point light in, and we take our point light and we go to parameters here, lumens, okay, something in the environment settings. I've got it set wrong here. Scene only. Okay, so we take the dome and scene, but it's showing the dome. Okay, let's take and put a cube in the scene. Hello, cube. Now we're going to take this cube and scale it. So we're inside the cube. And oh, maybe our point light is under the ground. It is. That kind of works. Now we bring this over here. Down. Let's create a camera, new camera. And copy active perspective. Okay, now we can go here and get close to this point light. Put it inside of our lamp. Okay, we want to bring this up about here. Bring it over a little bit. Now when it's inside the bulb, I don't think it works. Yes, when it's inside the bulb, it stops working. So we have to make it like taller than the bulb. Okay. Or we could hide the bulb. So, but what we can do now is go back to our camera and we can take this our table lamp. We can turn the table lamp light off, but let's first take our point light and make it a little bit more realistic looking. So we go here to like this, something like this. And then we take our point light, take the lumens down. So, all right, well, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do here. But it's, because I'm not sure why it's reflecting so white off the shade. It might be because I changed those the mode of the light. Where was it that I changed that? That was in surfaces? No, that's no surfaces to a light like this. Render emitter. Okay, that just turned it off, and now we're just using, okay, we'll go back to on, and then we'll turn off the lamp light itself. So now we turn off our point light, and we're back to the lamp light. So I guess this is going to do it for this. Yeah, the program is now at a stable place right now. So, and so we're ready for this kind of thing. So table lamp. Now we can just go here, and instead we can go to search. We can go to the library browser, grab one of these everything files, and type in light. How about lamp? And there's only one page there, so it's not where our props are. So we go here, we go through, and you just go through all 30 of them and search. Nothing. So there's nothing in there called lamp. So we go back here to search. Nothing in there called lamp. Let's go down to prop, like down here, maybe into here. Search. Light. Okay, there's light colored hair. 144 light things. So you go through, you find your stuff, and it tells you, it's like, oh, that's already in my lamp folder through those icons. So, which I have to fix. So if we find the right folder, we'll find a whole bunch of, okay, lamp. We'll go back to lamp. We'll just find one of these. We'll find one of these is bound to have lamps in it. Did I just click the same one? I think I did. There's no lamps in there. Okay, let's try everything one. Lamp. Now, see, here we go. Now we got some lamps. So we've got a floor lamp. Let's add that in. Oh, see, now this is more like what I was looking for. So we put the floor lamp over here. That's our camera here. We're outside the box. Why rotate? There we go. See, something that's... Then we can take this lamp here. I mean, it's the only light in the room. And so I think it is because, well, we take out this carpet. Yeah, the other light's gone. And then we'll take the nightstand out. Carpets, yeah, the other light's gone. Sofa, the ottoman, carpet, cube, camera, okay, floor lamp. And we bring this down a little bit, just a little bit more in scale. And we take, then we go to this lamp, we go to surfaces, here, wood, emission. That's smartly named. So that's 100-watt bulbs. So there you go, and it's all speckly like this because that's what you're going to get when you only have like one lamp. This may not be an I-ray lamp, but its base color, it all seems to be kind of like an I-ray lamp. So yeah, it's I-ray textures. So that's gonna do it for me today. I gotta go cook something to eat. Thank you for watching. As you can see, this is starting to reticulate really nicely. Now you've got all your lamps. You find your lamps and you put them in your lights folder. Look at this, all these lights, lamps. These are lamps. Look at this. See this? We just found a whole bunch of lamps. Just one page of them. That's in our library 1. What was this, library 2? We search for lamps and look at the lamps we got here. And each one is a kind of an enigma to figure. We got 10 pages of lamps. Look at this, lamps. So these, actually want to rename this to lamps. Lamps. Okay? Because that's what we searched for to find them. All right? Now there are other names for lamps. And this lamp's here for... We found the lamps. Let me tell you, we found the lamps. That's the same thing with clothing. They're all in this everything scan. So that's the thing. So now I'm not going to have to search for lamps again. I'm going to have them all in my nice little tidy folder. Now there's chandeliers, okay, candles, lanterns, okay, and they would all go under lights. Okay, so this is page 10. So let's create another folder. New folder, lanterns. Lanterns. We got 2 of them here. Now we'll go to, let's say, everything 3. Search for lanterns. Look, we got some lanterns now. And everything, oh, there's only 1 page. Okay, everything 4. I have a ton of lanterns. I don't know what those are, but we'll throw them all in. They say lanterns. I'm not sure what it is, but okay, that's, I think everything 4, everything 5. Search. More lanterns. None of these are in the lantern folder yet. Okay, 6. Seems like they're all down at the bottom here. No, there's none in 6. 7, we're getting into clothing and bigger stuff. But I know I have more lanterns than that. 7. See, these are loading pretty nice. It's not, the program hasn't crashed once. Okay, so there's a few little bugs here and there, but it's stable. So it's, I would say it's out of the beta set. 9. Lanterns. You start to learn. There's only 30, even though there's 100,000 items in each one. You start to kind of learn your where things are. Lanterns. No, it's like what, 11? Let's go to 12. I think we're in clothing and stuff and shaders, and I'm not sure exactly where we are, but there's just no lanterns in this stuff, okay? 13. Nope. Let's go to 30. Load 30. Search for lanterns. We got some lanterns. Those ones turn them off, I think. Let's go to 29. I have a ton of lanterns. That's why I don't think they're showing. 28. Search. So there's somewhere in here. I just have to go down through them, and then boom, I have all my lanterns in one place. Most of them. Now, there might be certain things that a different way of naming a lantern, but there again, that's okay. Look at this. Okay, and the reason why it did that, I have no idea. But I think it's because it sees them as duplicates. They may actually be duplicates, and so it only allows one item with the name with the exact name. So everything 22. So as you can see, I'm kind of jumping through this. I'm not being very methodical about it. Let's go to 18, and this is going to be the end of the lantern thing. So we could just try trying lights, you know, things like that. Look at this, we found the lanterns. I told you I had big lantern thing. So yeah. What was it, 22? I think 21. No, I don't know what one I did. 23. More lanterns. See? This is pretty cool. So I have 147 lanterns. Let's try rocks. Here we go, new folder rocks. I think it's going to add it there. We'll just drag it down here. Rocks. All right, we got some rocks. Those are pretty nice rocks. So we go back to our library, try everything 1. Rocks. Nothing. Everything 29. Rocks. Look at, okay, those are shader rocks. I don't want those kind. I want actual rocks. Look at that. These look like they're shaders also. But we'll put them in because these are like rock shaders. They're like really rock shaders. So let's just go here to 21. Just jumping through. Rocks. We got rocks. These are scatter on the ground kind of rocks. They look like materials for rocks. So you can scatter if you find the actual rocks, it might be this one or this, then you can put these on them. 15 rocks. No rocks in 15. Out of 100,000 items, not one single rock. So yeah, all right, let's go to 1. Try 1. Going to be rocks everywhere. Come on. No, there's a few rocks, some debris. You want to look up debris too and create a folder with debris. 2 more rocks. We need rocks. I have some very, very special rocks. Look at these. See what I mean? Look at these. So, yeah, now I know where my rocks are. They're in 2 and 3. Let's see if 3 has some. If it's overlapping. Yep, there's some rocks there, some snowy rocks. Yep, 4. A lot of props in the early ones. Okay, look at these rocks. They're like rocks for, look at this. Druids rocks. 5. Rocks. We're looking for rocks. Look at these. See, these are, oh, my ears twitching. These are tickling my ear. 6. These are high quality rocks. Maybe we need a rock for our living room. This is running in the background while Daz is running with all those items running in Daz. Not a single rock in 6, I think. 7. We're getting to like clothing items. All of a sudden it's like it switches to a different folder and it's like, we ain't got no rocks in here. Yeah, so these are different things. So we go to 20, let's go to 11. See if there's some rocks in 11. No, just clothing. 16. I might have tried this one. No, looks like hair is in 16. So let's try hair. There's only one. Oh, there's 270 pages of hair. Look at that. So we know where the hair is in our scan 16. So we go new folder, hair. Okay, we'll put that over here instead. I'd rather have it here. Now, okay, it says we got 32 items in hair. Oh, we have 2 hair. I told you can have more than one. We have a hair already. So where did that hair go? Oh, okay, I think we lost our hair folder. All right, no, we didn't lose it. What we have to do is close this out. It'll come back. It got moved somewhere. Okay, there might be an issue with duplicate names. It didn't used to be allowed. And I might have something still Still going with that. So hair, yeah, because we just lost a folder. We have officially have our first orphan folder here. It's not supposed to be allowed to happen or able to happen. But we have we're missing a hair folder, and it has items in it too, so. Okay, so last night was getting this all to work, and you know, the next time I go in to work on this, it will be to iron out these little teeny bugs. And because everything's kind of working the way it is right now, so it's just a matter of finding the little bugs and stuff and saying, oh, that's why that's disappearing. And so this is what we're doing here. So I don't see another hair, Jen. Okay, sometimes I just don't see it. Props. Jackets, clothing, belts, shoes, array, and we still have this problem with this. Won't load. Folder is empty. So we'll figure these out. We have a folder that got missing. So this is going to do it for me. I'm going to go cook some food to eat. Thank you for watching. I've got still two loyal fans here watching. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed our odyssey here through our EzFinder. Okay, we got our library browser here that brings us to the library with all these folders where we can search things. We can drop them into here. We've got also another way to search things is through these arrays. These arrays are not looking at the library folder. These are a completely different scan, okay, of the Daz library. So, and they show you all the assets from different linking data. You have a good night too, friend Matt. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I imagine Angus is here as well. Watch this, watch the video. This video is going to show you, it shows you pretty much the power of this program. I think I finally kind of hit the bullseye on being able to show this program with things actually working. Now the export to Daz worked, okay? You were able to see where I took one of these folders and exported it to Daz. And so the save worked, where I was able to save the entire layout and bring it back. So that is another feat of world wonder feat, okay? Is being able to take all of these and save them and load up different arrangements of your data, okay? So, all right, so this is going to do this for me, and thank you for watching the program. It's probably going to start out, and you'll only have 5 folders unless you purchase it. There will be a trial. There'll be about 5 folders that you can put stuff in, which actually isn't bad because you could put like 3,000 HDRIs in one of them. You could put like 3,000 pieces of clothing in another. You could put all of your Daz figures in another. You could put all of your favorite environments in another. So it gives you something to try, and also export to Daz will be disabled, okay, for the trial, okay? So it gives you a chance to try it on your computer or laptop and see if it works. You will be able to scan and get all of these, the everything folders, okay? You will be able to scan. You will be able to scan and load these arrays and see all the products. You just won't be able to organize them fully until you make up your mind and decide if you want to use the program. Thank you, Angus, for being here, my friend. We got Matt here tonight. We had Chris Cox. I don't know if he's still here. Thank you for watching, people. All the best to you. I will see you again on the EzFinder tutorial channel. And this is RexRed saying so long for now and bye-bye. I will see you again soon. All right. Bye-bye.